We're expecting a formal Israeli response within days, possibly, to this proposal, which Egypt actually had a key role in brokering. And that's important because they're a big player in this region, and also because the previous round of talks broke down with no outcome. But the Qataris, as you said, who are also involved in these talks, pretty optimistic because, as you made that point, that it's a similar deal to the one that Israel previously agreed to, that was put together by the US Special Envoy Steve Witkoff. Conflicting signals, though, here in Israel tonight about it all. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office briefing anonymously, we think, that these 50 of the hostages must be released all at once. They're not particularly interested in a partial deal, but at the same time, you've had Israeli officials saying that they're still studying these proposals and there's still discussions going on about them. Any reprieve, though, cannot come soon enough for the people of Gaza. Several more people reportedly killed trying to get food aid tonight. And today the UN said that the risk of starvation there may be a direct result of the Israeli government policy of blocking humanitarian aid, which Israel, of course, denies. This is how these families survived in central Gaza today. It is no way to sustain a starving population. And for a fleeting moment, hope that another way might be possible, should Israel join Hamas in agreeing a pause in the fighting to get aid in and some of the remaining hostages out. In Khan Yunis, 8 people were killed overnight, the number of dead now passing 62,000, according to the Gaza Health Ministry. Awad says he's been bereaved and displaced. God willing, he says, Israel will give a positive response, and it will be today. Omar says even a ceasefire won't end the war because Israel has other goals, the complete destruction of Gaza. These Israeli tanks are preparing to take control of Gaza City. An offensive Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is pursuing despite growing international and domestic condemnation. So, could it be halted by a ceasefire plan that is, after all, on terms he very recently appeared to support? The proposed deal accepted by Hamas would reportedly see the release of 10 of the 20 remaining living hostages, the return of more Palestinian prisoners by Israel, a 60-day ceasefire, and talks for a full end to the conflict. Now, this is all remarkably close to what Benjamin Netanyahu himself put forward just last month.
We have a 60-day ceasefire, get the first batch out, and then use the 60 days to try to negotiate an end to this.
But this month, Netanyahu's ceasefire conditions have changed dramatically. Instead of a partial release of the remaining hostages, he's been insisting on the full release of all the remaining hostages all at once.
Regarding our terms, the release of all the hostages, both alive and dead, definitely. We're at that stage, and we're not going back.
Crucially, that position appears not just to have Donald Trump's endorsement, but appeases the far-right parties propping up Netanyahu's coalition government. Hard-right Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir says the Prime Minister has no mandate for a partial deal. But on Netanyahu's other flank, one of the biggest protests since October 7th took place on Sunday, opposing plans for more Israeli force in Gaza and demanding the hostages were immediately brought home.
I want to say to my guy, my son, how deeply I'm sorry.
Michelle's son Guy died in Hamas captivity, and his body is still being held there. It looks like there is a deal on the table now that Benjamin Netanyahu could accept today if he wanted to, albeit it's a partial hostage release. Should he accept that deal?
He must. He must accept it. I want to see the last hostages back home.
You had hundreds of thousands of people on the streets here over the weekend. How many more people do you think have to take to the streets to get the Prime Minister to change his position?
At least 1 million people to shout our shouting, to say enough is enough for us, you know, enough is enough for us. And I want to be able to pray and to bury my son. This is the only thing, the last thing that I ask enough is enough for me. I don't want to be suffered anymore.
Protests planned for this Sunday in Tel Aviv had just been cancelled, though, while Benjamin Netanyahu ponders his response to the ceasefire plan. Organisers said it was his last chance.